At the end of a grueling 2 weeks at the COP27 climate summit in Egypt, vending machines were taken down, chairs piled up, while the talks themselves limped on. Negotiations were supposed to finish yesterday, but stalled as numerous deadlocks on key political issues showed no signs of progress. Only this morning, the EU threatened to abandon the talks altogether.
We need to move forward, not backwards, and all ministers, as they have told me, like myself, are prepared to walk away if we do not have a result that does justice to what the world is waiting for, namely that we do something about this climate crisis.
The contentious issues here at the end were the contentious issues at the start. Rich countries feared a backsliding on agreements already made, phasing down coal and deeper emissions cuts, while poor countries were unmoving in their demands on so-called loss and damage, a new emergency fund for climate disasters happening now. With no end in sight, a potential breakthrough came hours ago, a new proposal on finance following decades of pleas.
Are you happy about the outcome?
Of course I am. That's what we're here for.
For now, hopes to see all fossil fuels condemned in a final deal, not just coal but oil and gas too, have not landed. Perhaps a successful lobbying spree by oil-rich petrostates who've been out in force at the summit. The standoff continues. Rich countries have said they may agree to more cash if others promise to reduce their emissions now.
That is what we are here in these final hours working for.
And it's that, new finance for the most vulnerable, that many said would be the measure of success at this summit.
You know, if you're a football fan, and particularly from England, you know the Three Lions, England football fan song. And I want to quote them. They say, after 30 years of hurt, loss and damage fund is coming home.
Whether that song is sung at the end will rest on these final, exhausted hours.
And Simon's here with the very latest for us now. Fill us in.
Well, today moved incredibly quickly because this time last night, even this morning, people were saying this could all end without a deal. That's just because this standoff over loss and damage, this is a kind of new climate disaster relief fund, was just so intense. Now, there was a big movement on that around midday when a new proposal was made, which would see this fund existing from around next year. And it was the first time that the vulnerable countries that have been asking for it said, look, we're happy with that. Experts have always said if you have a consensus there, then everything else, all these other standoffs, may move very quickly. Now it's actually, the attention has moved to something that the EU and the UK have been pushing for, which is stricter emissions cuts to help us meet our climate goals. Alok Sharma, the COP26 president last year, he said what we have on the table right now is not actually an improvement on where we were before.
And what can we expect next?
Well, in terms of a timeline, we're actually all kind of still in the dark. This is way over time now. Ministers have been meeting in the past few hours. This end game is when they all go into the plenary, this huge room where they can actually sign off a deal. We don't know when that's going to be. It could be tonight, could be in the morning. The thing we really don't know and what's really important is the position of the US and China. We haven't heard from them on anything, and they can still kill or seal this deal.
OK, I'm sure you'll be standing by to fill us in. Thanks very much, Simon.